Penguinz0 AKA Charlie is constantly calling out these YouTubers for their hypocrisy, and one of the people he called out was a red pill podcaster named Walter Weeks, aka Fresh the Goomba, from the Fresh and Fit podcast. Fresh built a brand telling men to take accountability while refusing to do it himself. 3 separate scandals involving women named Daisy and Miranda, plus fellow content creator Sneeko, exposed Fresh as someone who lied, manipulated, and contradicted everything he preached to his naive male audience, and every piece of evidence is still sitting out there for anyone to find. In 2020, Fresh and Myron Gaines launched their podcast, and the message they preached to everyone was, men need to be high value, take accountability, and never pay for female attention. They would invite young, low IQ girls on their podcast and tell them that their 304s take responsibility for picking the wrong men, and they're going to be nothing but single mothers in the future. Both Fresh and Myron saw themselves as the red pill alpha males who have no problem with getting women, but none of that turned out to be true. Behind the scenes, Fresh was doing the exact opposite of everything coming out of his mouth, and once people started noticing, the lies began stacking higher and higher.
Advice you give to men is very different than what you are following.
Back in May 2022, YouTuber Penguinz0, known as Charlie, released a video about Fresh called Most Embarrassing Alpha Male Ever.
The only thing more pathetic than a guy who calls himself an alpha male is a guy who calls himself an alpha male and then tries to sell advice to desperate, lonely men.
Hey guys, it's your boy Fresh Prince CEO. And today we're going to talk about all my W's. Stay tuned for it.
Charlie spoke about their entire platform and how it was just a podcast built around bringing young women on to humiliate them, preaching that men could cheat freely while women weren't even allowed to look elsewhere, and copywriting everyone who laughed and criticized them while claiming to be alpha males. The centerpiece of the video was a story Fresh told about sleeping with 3 women in one day at an NBA player's mansion party, and Charlie called out that lie completely. There is no reality in the entirety of the multiverse where this man has slept with one woman, let alone over 1,000 of them. Charlie closed by asking how anyone could post something like that without feeling shame, and that question turned out to be more important than it seemed at the time.
But I met this guy at a pool party. He's an NBA player. I won't say his name for some reasons, but you know, he's a pretty top-tier guy, high-value guy, right?
Why would an NBA player go up to a random guy at a pool party to ask for a party later? He's clearly already connected. He found out about the pool party, so why would he go up to a complete stranger at a bar to ask for further advice on partying? And then going a step further to add him on Instagram.
Charlie saw a pattern with Fresh and decided to call it out early before the 3 scandals broke out. A pattern of lying, treating women as disposable, and making fraudulent claims to sell courses to lonely men who do nothing but blame women for their problems. Fresh, the Goomba, spent the next few years proving everything Charlie said was right. Miranda comes first because this one cuts straight to the foundation of Fresh's dishonesty. Fresh started dating a woman named Miranda and showed her on his social media as though she were a girlfriend he met through normal circumstances. But whenever fans asked how the two connected, he dodged the question entirely, which set off immediate red flags. His own fanbase started digging, and what they uncovered destroyed the image he spent years building. It turns out Fresh and Miranda met on a website called Seeking Arrangements, a platform known for connecting sugar babies with men who give them money. And what's even worse is that Miranda had publicly posted TikToks about receiving money from men, getting guys to cash app her thousands of dollars, with Fresh being one of them.
Hold on.
Let's normalize playing The Bachelorette in your personal life.
Hold on. I'll say this, right? I only met her like what?
2 days
2 days ago. So we've been hanging out. What she did before then? Hey man, it's all fair and love and war.
But nah, listen, it's nothing
48.
about.
The best part about this story is that another popular YouTuber known as DJ Academics literally went on the Fresh and Fit podcast after hours and called out Fresh live in front of thousands of viewers. Even DJ Academics, who is a good friend of Fresh and Myron, saw that Fresh was being a hypocrite and had to call him out on it. During that show, Fresh did his best to defend himself, saying that both him and Miranda met naturally on a very expensive yacht, but no one was buying it, not even his co-host Myron. While DJ Academics was going in on Fresh, his co-host Myron just sat there quietly for the most part and let Fresh embarrass himself. Fresh and Fit built their entire audience on mocking men who pay for female attention, calling it pay for play, and acting completely above it, which meant guys like Abba and Preach were right when they called out Fresh's claims on this exact topic. Walter was doing precisely what he told other men never to do, hiding it from his audience the entire time, and presenting himself as a high-value man who attracts women naturally. That's lie number 1, and Charlie called him a fraud in 2022 for this exact reason.
The Fresh and Fit podcast, the entire purpose of this show is to bring women on to insult and belittle them to their face, while also preaching that men should have the right to cheat on their significant other as many times as they want. I've had so many viral clips over the last year of them getting dunked on by the guests they bring on. I'm pretty sure the two of them have a humiliation fetish, which is the reason they keep this show running.
Nothing from the Miranda situation came close to the Daisy Chen situation, and this is where Fresh's lies start exposing who he really is. In November 2023, Fresh started dating a girl named Daisy, a Chinese Instagram model who had won Miss Asia, and by New Year's Day 2024, Fresh asked her to be in an exclusive relationship and told her not to see other men, and she agreed. Later on, in March 2024, Daisy let everyone know that she was pregnant for Fresh and that she wanted to keep the baby and get an apartment with him, but Fresh immediately told her to delete the baby. Leaked text messages Daisy released in April 2024 showed Fresh telling her to take an abortion pill, and when she refused and reminded him of her beliefs, his response was to claim that he couldn't afford a child. Fresh had spent $15,000 on a Van Cleef bracelet in the first week of dating Daisy, but when he was faced with actual responsibility, suddenly he didn't have any money. That's lie number 2. And this is where it gets worse, because those same messages revealed Fresh spending the entire relationship sleeping with at least 4 other women unprotected. Instead of acknowledging that he was in the wrong, on April 3rd, Myron and Fresh went into full attack mode. A divorce attorney appeared on the podcast, suggesting Daisy committed a felony by releasing the recorded conversation. The pregnancy got framed as potentially fake, paternity got questioned, and then an anonymous video surfaced allegedly showing Daisy working as an escort, which they pushed on multiple episodes while calling her a 304 in front of their audience. All of this from a podcast that tells women to take accountability for their choices, blames them for picking the wrong men, and treats fatherhood as non-negotiable. Fresh literally did the exact thing he told his male audience not to do, and then refused to own any of it. On April 28th, when Daisy announced she wouldn't continue the pregnancy because she didn't want to raise a child alone without a present father, Fresh and Myron celebrated online. Daisy put it plainly, "I want everybody to know that he is a liar and he's a cheater. I don't care about the money. The thing is, I want him to behave like a man."
But the fact is he's not a man.
But he's saying in the podcast that you're not pregnant.
Yeah, and he says I'm not pregnant, you guys. How hilarious. He says I'm not pregnant. That would be faking though. That would be faking.
But
then I'm facing serious issue as a
how-
tourist in here. Faking everything, causing, making clouds.
And finally, Sneeko. Sneeko spent years as a regular collaborator on Fresh and Fit, appearing on the podcast multiple times, and Fresh even helped him secure a Rumble contract reportedly worth millions of dollars.
And also when I was speaking about it, I knew what the risk I was taking.
But then, if you knew that, then that was dumb.
Okay, you realize that some people need to do this. Some people need to put things on the line, just like the guy you had earlier.
Yeah.
The whistleblower who's he might lose his job to tell the truth.
Well, Sneeko, I agree with you.
So, but what you're saying, you keep saying as if we don't know that there's favoritism on social media.
When the Daisy situation blew up publicly, Sneeko stood by Fresh and tweeted that Fresh and Fit had saved more men's lives than any other podcast ever produced. March 2025 brought a public falling out between the two, and what came out of it revealed exactly what Walter's version of friendship looks like behind closed doors. During the feud, Fresh posted, "I can play dirty. Me lie about you for what? Keep playing with me, I got videos for days. Collecting footage on a friend to use as blackmail later? That's not a friendship," and Sneeko stated clearly he could no longer trust Fresh after that. None of that stopped Fresh from going on the No Jumper podcast and accusing Sneeko of being a grifter who follows money, which landed differently coming from the man who used sugar baby websites, claimed poverty when facing child support, and launched a $35 per month subscription called the Castle Club to extract revenue from whoever remained in his audience. Later on, Fresh and Sneeko challenged each other to a boxing match, but of course, for anyone who knows Fresh, he backed out like the coward that he is, and the fight never happened. Fresh tried to blame Rumble's CEO as the reason that the fight couldn't happen, but Sneeko proved him wrong and let everyone know that he was a coward. Either way, talking tough without ever following through has become one of Walter's most consistent patterns. These 3 scandals match exactly what Charlie identified back in 2022. Fresh preaches male accountability but refused responsibility when he got someone pregnant, pressured her toward an abortion he knew went against her beliefs, and then celebrated when the situation resolved itself in his favor. He preaches against paying for female attention, but built a relationship through a sugar baby platform and spent years hiding it.
What are you talking about?
Your situation.
What is that?
With your
There's a situation.
Fresh, I got one question for you.
the baby.
Do you now think that? Do you
So
now?
what do you think about like her talking about her child? How about your child?
Do you now
What
think?
child?
Yeah, what child?
All right, before did you see what the video I did on that?
No.
Then
I
shut
don't
up.
watch your show.
Then watch
Shut
it,
up.
yeah,
Then
watch
shut
it.
the fuck up.
He presents himself as wealthy and high value but claimed to be broke the moment a child support obligation entered the picture. And when each of these situations surfaced publicly, the response was never acknowledgement, it was always a counterattack. He questioned the paternity, accused the woman of escorting, threatened to release private videos, and tries to find any angle that shifts attention away from his own behavior. One comment online said, "This whole situation opened a lot of eyes to Fresh and Fit's audience, and their trust was destroyed. Since then, Fresh and Fit have not been looked at the same." What Fresh's 3 scandals leave behind is a documented record of dishonesty that undermines every video, every episode, and every course he ever sold. Penguinz0 called him pathetic in May 2022 for selling advice to desperate men while fabricating stories about his own life. And Walter spent 3 years confirming Charlie's assessment over and over again. The receipts are public, the lies are documented, and the hypocrisy is just undeniable.